Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about a long-term chart formation that has happened here on the weekly chart in the last week or so that has only ever happened once on Bitcoin in its entire history. And interestingly enough, the last time this signal happened, about 4 months later, the Bitcoin bull market that would bring Bitcoin from from $200, adding 2 zeros all the way to $20,000. 4 months after this signal happened, that bull market started. This signal happened in April right over here in 2015, and not long after, the bull market that a lot of us got into Bitcoin started. And that signal just happened again last week. We're going to be discussing that signal and more in today's video because I think it's very important, especially to the topics that we've been discussing recently on the channel. So if you guys enjoyed today's video and you're interested in seeing what this signal is, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing the notification bell, guys. It does help out the channel if you do it, and I would be appreciative if you did it. And before we get into today's video, I also want to mention that this is a pre-recorded video. I'm recording this on the 21st. That was the Thursday in the most recent Thursday. When you're watching this video is going up on Sunday. Every single thing we're talking about on today's video will be showing up on the weekly chart, so everything that we're discussing in today's video is still relevant when you are seeing this video. Nothing that happened in between me recording this video and this video going live will have any effect on what we are doing here unless Bitcoin runs like 400%, which is very unlikely to happen. So everything that we're discussing here should definitely still be relevant, so don't worry about that. Anyway, I will be getting home the day that this video goes live, so about 6 hours after this goes live, I will be back at home. I almost said where I live. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it without much further ado. No short-term technical analysis today, but we are going to go ahead and jump right on into the signal. This signal shows up on our 4 moving averages out here on the weekly chart, and this signal you can probably see right away if you guys have been doing technical analysis for a long time. That would be this cross right here. And while you might think, Jeb, why did you just go and make an entire video on a Bitcoin cross between 2 moving averages out here on the weekly chart? You really are grasping at straws. And while that is true, I'm just kidding. Of course, don't go typing in the comments section because some people don't know how to take a joke. This is a very, very important signal, and I didn't overhype it in the intro. This is as important as I said it was. We just saw this cross right here. And while this is a bearish cross, this is actually good news for Bitcoin because, interestingly enough, let's go ahead and look back on Bitcoin here. When was the last time that we saw a 50 moving average, that being this red line right here, cross below the 100 moving average? When was the last time that happened? It was right over here in April of 2015. And interestingly enough, the last time that happened, it was right about here. The Bitcoin bull market started 5 or 6 months, 4, 5, 6 months after that signal happened. We haven't ever seen that signal since, and we've just seen it happen once again. And we're going to be diving into a lot of stuff in today's video, so let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that we're going to have to do to really lay out why this is so important and get to the meat and potatoes of today's video is we have to dive into our comparison between 2014 and 15's bear market to 2018 and 19's bear market. You guys have probably seen me compare these markets before, but we need to compare them again, and I do have a good reason for comparing them again, which I'll discuss at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. Why are 2014 and 15, why is this bear market analyzed so much? Why do I talk about it so much? Why do other YouTubers talk about it so much? Are we really that hard-pressed for ideas? No, there's a very good reason why we talk about 2014 and 15, the 2014-15 bear market as compared to the 2018 and 2019 bear market, and that is because these two markets are very, very similar. They played out almost identically. Let me explain exactly how. In 2014 and 15, we saw that Bitcoin retraced from all-time high about 85%. In 2018 and 2019, we've seen that Bitcoin has retraced from all-time high 85%. When Bitcoin retraced, Bitcoin hit support down here at $300. That support level was 75% retrace from all-time high. When we saw Bitcoin retraced from the $20,000 high and we saw Bitcoin pull back to $6,000, that was a 70% retracement. A little bit different, very, very similar, especially depending on where you call the top over here in 2014. After Bitcoin came down here to $3,000, it broke bearish below it, just like Bitcoin broke bearish below $6,000. When it broke bearish below it, Bitcoin retraced 50%. When Bitcoin broke bearish below $6,000, we saw that Bitcoin retraced 50%. Are you seeing the similarities yet? Well, there's a lot more. If we bring back up our moving averages out here on the weekly chart, by the way, this is all on the weekly chart. There's a lot of similarities on the monthly chart and on the daily chart. We saw that Bitcoin stayed above the 200 weekly moving average. So far, anyway, Bitcoin has managed to stay above the 200 weekly moving average. We've seen that happen. Another thing, we saw that Bitcoin fell below the 20 exponential moving average out here on the weekly chart. It fell below it, stayed below it, and didn't really get above it until it went into a bull market. When Bitcoin got above this level right here, Bitcoin entered a bull market. Now, we did have a fake out right here, but after Bitcoin got above this level, Bitcoin nary once went below it until the bear market started. The 20 exponential moving average out here on the weekly chart is another similarity. And also, by the way, we're seeing this curving down, and we're probably going to see Bitcoin get above it in the next couple of months, which is another bullish signal, which we'll definitely talk about more when the time comes. So watch out for videos on that. That's another similarity. Guys, I can get into Fibonacci levels. I can get into moving averages on the daily chart, on the 4-hourly chart, on the monthly chart, on the weekly chart. There are between about 12 and 20 similarities between the 2014 and 15 bear market and the 2018 and 2019 bear market. And there's a lot more similarities that I'm not going to get into in today's video. And there's so many similarities that it's really a good proof of technical analysis, because these similarities are not coming out of just nowhere, especially as the 2018-2019 bear market continues to progress in the exact same way that the 2014-15 bear market progressed, or in a very similar way, I should say, not exactly the same way. Since Bitcoin is progressing that way, and since everyone at this point realizes how similar these two bear markets are, when something happens in Bitcoin, it's normally going to follow what happened in 2015. This is what happened in 2015 is kind of a premonition of what's coming in 2019. We can kind of see where the market's going to head more than likely over the next 5, 6, 7 months. And we can pretty accurately predict, in my opinion anyway, that a bull market is going to be starting in quarter 3 or quarter 4 of 2019, perhaps even quarter 1 of 2020 if we have to wait a little longer, assuming the 2018-2019 bear market continues repeating history and continues following in the footsteps of the 2014-15 bear market. So now that we've got that foundation laid, let's go ahead and get into the main point of today's video. That is the 50 and 100 moving average. Well, guys, I just rattled off the top of my head, by the way, about five or so similarities between the 2014-15 bear market and the 2018-2019 bear market. And the reason this is significant is because the last time we saw this cross right here was back in 2015. It's another similarity that has shown up in the market in almost exactly the same way that it showed up in 2015. What we saw over here in 2014 and 2015 is that Bitcoin came below $300 and entered this accumulation phase right here for the duration of about 10 months. Bitcoin right around the exact start of the year, about halfway through December, similarly to how it happened in 2015. That's another similarity when that happened. When Bitcoin broke below that, it stayed in this accumulation phase right here, this little box, for about 10 or 11 months. And about 4 or 5 months through that accumulation phase, we saw this cross. And then, of course, once we turned bullish, Bitcoin saw the inverted cross over here halfway through 2016. We saw the cross go bullish, and we saw the bearish cross about a week ago. But not very long after we saw this bearish cross right here, we saw that Bitcoin started the bull run. And I'll tell you guys how I define the actual start of the 2016-17 bull market. It started right here, very close to right here. Halfway through October in 2015, the Bitcoin bull market for 2016 and 17 started. Now, it's interesting that it didn't start in 2016, but it did. But it did start. It started right over here. And we can see, if we bring up our moving averages, that not long after we got a bullish cross over here, we saw that cross right over here. We saw that not long after this cross, where the 50 crossed below the 100, we saw that bullish cross right over here. And guys, I've just laid out how similar these markets are. I've just laid out how similar 2014 and 2015 are. It's so similar that the technicals are following this for a reason. People are trading based off of this at this point. These technicals have very strong predictive power, probably stronger than many of the other technical analysis that we have in our arsenal at the moment. And the fact that we saw that kind of cross a couple of months, about 5 or 6 months before the bull market started, leads me to believe that our earlier predictions of a quarter 3, quarter 4 Bitcoin bull market starting are even more valid than even we perhaps thought they were in the past. I think because we've seen this cross once again, then that is evidence based on the 2014-15 bear market in the favor of a Bitcoin bull market starting again over here in quarter 3 or quarter 4 of 2019. And guys, you're probably thinking, well, Jeb, great, there was a cross on the weekly chart between two moving averages. Did you really go and make a video all about that? Well, yes, I did, and I'll tell you exactly why I did. Because not only is that another similarity between the 2018 and 2019 bear market, you know how when you see something happen 15 times and you're like, no, there's no way that is a coincidence. Sorry about that. Got my Facebook coming up. Let's make sure we don't do that. Anyway, I don't know why all these notifications are coming up. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to leave that down there. You can read what Hayden Bowles is saying. That's a YouTuber. Back on track. The reason I bring this up is because a lot of people forget just how important it is to have your mindset right when you're doing technical analysis and when you're working in markets and when you're trading in markets. It's very important that you have your mindset right. And while this cross over here is just a very simple cross, I mean, it's one cross on a moving average. I think this is a very strong signal that we're seeing a bull market come. I don't think that this is just another one that we can write off, another similarity. What I was saying earlier is that when there's a coincidence and you see something happen 10, 20, 30 times, maybe someone likes you, maybe you're in school, maybe someone likes you, and you see that they just start showing up everywhere. You're walking around and everywhere you go, they show up. Eventually you're going to start thinking, that's not a coincidence. They're doing that on purpose. And I think the same thing is happening here in the market. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's following around someone that they love or like. I'm saying that these technicals are happening for a reason. I'm not saying this is happening for a divine reason or anything. I'm saying it's happening because people are making these trades based off of what happened in 2014 and 15, and they're making trades in the 2018-19 bear market that are conducive to the market doing the same thing. So while I did make this video on technical reasons, and while I did make this video for the reasons of technical analysis, I also made this video for mindset. Because as I've talked about in recent videos, I think it's so important that people have the right mindset when they're working in markets. I think it is ridiculously important that people are in the right mind when they're working in markets, because it's very easy for you guys to sit here and look back on the market and say, oh my gosh, Bitcoin is so retraced from all-time high. Bitcoin is retraced 85% from all-time high. And I'm not mocking anyone when I say that. A lot of people are distraught. A lot of people are worried. A lot of people are concerned in the market. I understand that. I also understand that the sentiment has gotten a little better as we've gotten closer to the end of the bear market, and people perceive it that way. But I also understand that a vast majority of people in the market right now are making a mistake that they're going to regret later. And let me show you exactly what that mistake is. That mistake is not buying enough Bitcoin. Why do I say that? Well, that's because I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, and I think a lot of you guys should be too. Look at all the technicals that we've just talked about in the last 11 minutes and 50 seconds at the time of recording this video. Look at all the technicals. Where are we? We're right here. We are right here. This entire market, 2014 and 15, is an analogy to 2018 and 19. Look at the definition of that. This is an analogous market. That's exactly what it is. And in this analogous market, we're right here somewhere in here. We're right here. The bull market started right here. The all-time high was over here. We're 70 or 80% of the way through. And I'll tell you what, I know a lot of people that are commenters on this video, on this channel. I know a lot of people in the Discord server. I know a lot of people in my personal life who were in the market in 2014 and 15. And if you were one of them, tell people in the comment section down below, please tell people in the comment section down below, because they might not believe me. They should, but tell them in the comment section down below if you were in the market in 2014 and 15 about how you wish you had bought more when Bitcoin was trading down here at $200 and then increased in value by 2 orders of magnitude, and you saw a 100x return on whatever you were holding. Bitcoin went on a gigantic rally, and while I'm not saying that Bitcoin is going to go to $300,000 in the next market, there's going to be a lot of money to be made, especially for the people that bought in at this point in this market and bought in at this point in this market. So tell me, are you accumulating right now? Because I know I am. I know that Bitcoin is going to go to all-time high. Again, I am very confident in that. Of course, you can't know for certain, but I'm extremely confident in that, and I'm extremely confident in Bitcoin going even higher based on the technicals, based on the fundamentals, based on the sentiment, based on everything that I can use to analyze this market. I am extremely confident that Bitcoin is going to go back above $6,000, that Bitcoin is going to go back to $20,000, and that Bitcoin is going to continue to new all-time highs, and that there are massive returns in the future. And the reason I bring up all these technicals, once again, even though I've talked about them on the channel before, is because sometimes you need a reminder of the future. Sometimes you need to be reminded to see the forest through the trees and realize that the day-to-day technical analysis that we do here on this channel, which is very important, I'm not discounting what I do, it's very important, but sometimes you have to be reminded that the long term is what we're really here for. We're really here for Bitcoin. We're really here for the cryptocurrency revolution. We're really here for the gains that will be made in the long term, if not the short term. We're here to make money, and we're here for the technology. Those are the 2 reasons we're here. Tell me if there's a 3rd reason. Of course, there are minor ones. Those are the main reasons, and those 2 things, the money and the the technology, are looking remarkably bullish. So anyway, guys, I hope you did get some good value out of this video. This is the 2nd time I've recorded this video because I went ahead and recorded this video, hit a hotkey on my keyboard 9 minutes into the video, and then muted myself, and I didn't realize until I said, thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Click the stop recording button and realize that the last third of the video had no audio. So that was unfortunate. We went ahead and recorded the video again. This take was a little bit better anyway. So tell me, guys, tell me in the comment section down below, guys, what you thought of today's video. Do you like the mindset stuff where I try and motivate you guys and remind you guys about the future for Bitcoin? I love doing this kind of content, so if you enjoyed, I will definitely do more of it. I do really enjoy doing that. I also enjoy having a conversation with you guys in the comment section down below. Amazing segue there, by the way. I want props for that one. That was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be getting home today, by the way. When this video goes up on Sunday, I'm getting home from the trip I was on for the last couple of days. It's weird talking in the past tense about something that hasn't happened yet, but that is the life of a YouTuber. Anyway, guys, let's get a conversation going on in the comment section down below about that cross that we discussed, and let's also get one going about the future of Bitcoin. I want to hear you guys talk about where you think Bitcoin is going in the future. How long do you think it's going to take for a new Bitcoin bull run to start? How long do you think it's going to take for Bitcoin to get above $6,000, for Bitcoin to get above $20,000 and continue the bull market on into the future? I love reading you guys' comments, and I do absolutely love seeing you guys have a conversation. That's why we have the Discord server, by the way. I haven't plugged that in a while, so check the link in the description. There's always a link to join our Discord server down there. We have like 2,000 people in there. Excellent community. I love all you guys who are in it, so definitely consider joining us. Anyway, guys, I'm definitely rambling enough, so I'm going to wrap this video up. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching. As always, I will be home tomorrow. Really weird saying that in the future tense. I will be home tomorrow to make topical videos on the short-term technicals, just in case anything crazy has happened while I was gone tomorrow. Like I said, I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Not muted. Peace!